So good morning everyone. My name is Lalit Soni and I welcome you all in this live session by Drishti IAS. So in this session basically we talk about Indian Express, all the important article which can be asked in exam in some form or other, maybe in form of a question, or let's say in mains they can directly ask you the issue regarding the article which is there. So for our preparation, newspaper becomes important. So in this live session, we generally go forward with the important articles of the day, and then we discuss them in detail, and we will give you few articles for your own read. Okay. Other than that, when we are talking about today's Indian Express, sorry for the late session because the e-paper which was to be uploaded on Indian Express site was late, because of which there was a delay. Okay. So in today's session we will be talking about few articles that is related to your Kumki elephants. Okay. So these Kumki elephants are basically some trained elephants. So for them we will be talking about that, why they are in news, and then we will be talking about Bordova Than. Okay. So this Than or Sthan, all these things are kind of places. Okay. So this Bordova Than has been in news, it is in Assam, and we will be talking about why this is important, why it was in news. Okay. Then we will talk about the Davos summit which has happened. Okay. And then we will talk about the key takeaways from the summit. Okay. So in this summit we can say that geopolitical and geo-economical issues has been discussed. Okay. So we will talk about the 5 key takeaways from this particular summit. Then PM Suryodaya Yojana, after Ram Mandir inauguration, the first decision PM has taken was related to this particular scheme. So we will be talking about that, and then I will give you one article for your own read, and we will go to the practice question. Okay. So here you can see the front page of the newspaper, January 2022, not mere a date on calendar, origin of a new Kal Chakra, says PM. This is the date of inauguration of Ram Mandir in Ayodhya. Ram not dispute, but it is the solution now. New idol gets a name, that is Balak Ram. So the idol which is placed in the Ayodhya temple name is Balak Ram. Okay. So that is from the, you can say, front page of the newspaper. Most of the news here are related to Ram Mandir. Most of the paper today has articles which has been covering the inauguration ceremony in Ayodhya. So we will not go into details of that because that has been covered in one video or another. But the thing is, we will be talking about these important articles, and then we will start with the practice question, the practice question which was given to you in the last session. Okay. Which of the following is a key feature of India-Myanmar free movement regime? Okay. So we have talked about India-Myanmar free movement regime. Even in today's newspaper, there was this explained section. Okay, which I have kept for your own read, because we have discussed this India-Myanmar relations and the free trade, free movement regime. Okay, so the question was, which of the following is a key feature of India-Myanmar free movement regime? Options are unrestricted immigrations. So that is logically, if we think, there are very less chance that any country would go for unrestricted immigration. Okay, then visa free travel for citizen up to a certain distance from the border. Okay, we have seen that it is, the certain distance is 16 kilometer, and these people or the tribal communities which are living here, they can commute from across the border visa free for like 16 kilometers, and they can stay up to 2 weeks there. Okay, they won't require any kind of visa. So option B would be a right answer. Other than that, if you look at the option of open access to employment in both countries, okay, that is not true. And the complete border demarcation. So article has talked about this complete border demarcation, but not about the free movement regime. Okay. So here option B would be your right answer. Now moving further, today 23rd of January, it is Parakram Divas. It is the birth anniversary of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. He was a prominent leader in our Indian independence struggle. So that you can say personality becomes important for your examination as well. Okay. Now moving further, we'll start with the first article, that is Odisha knocks at Tamil Nadu's door to tackle jumbo attacks. So here they are talking about elephant attacks. Okay. So recently it is seen that Tamil Nadu is facing a frequent man-animal conflict, or you can say man-elephant conflicts over there. Okay. So regarding that, when we are talking about, Tamil Nadu used to face this frequent attack, but then this particular state has done pretty well in that arena. So now Odisha is facing similar attacks from this elephants. So now Odisha has asked for support from Tamil Nadu. Okay, in that regard, there is this article. We'll be talking about that. To mitigate man-animal conflict emerging as a key challenge in Odisha, the state government has sought 4 Kumki elephants and their mahots from Tamil Nadu. So when we are talking about these Kumki elephants, these Kumki elephants are basically trained elephants. Okay, these elephants are trained to drive these other wild animals from that particular area. Okay, so that this man animal conflict or man elephant conflict can be avoided. Okay, so here you can see, so they have asked for 4 Kumki elephants and their mahot from Tamil Nadu, given the state's success in training and utilizing them for wildlife conservation. So these Kumki elephants are basically trained and utilized for the wildlife conservation, and other than that conservation, and other than that they are utilized for avoiding these man animal conflicts. They are used to drive these jumbo elephants from the, or you can say wild elephants from the you can say farms, etc., so that there is a lesser loss to life and property over there. Okay, Kumkis are trained captive elephants used in operation to trap, rescue, tranquilized wild elephants. Okay, so here there are some utilization of these Kumkis. They are used for trapping, rescuing and tranquilizing these wild animals, okay, elephants. They can be deployed strategically to help manage and drive wild elephants away from the particular area, reducing damages to crop, human habitations and potential loss of both human and elephant lives. Okay, so other than that they are also used for forest patrolling and rescue operation, etc. So that is the utilization of Kumki elephants. They are basically trained elephants for all these purposes, so that there is a lesser, you can say, loss to life and property or the human habitations and the settlements around the forest areas. Okay. So here Odisha will be getting initial hand holding support from these Kumki elephants, and you can say the mahots which are sent from Tamil Nadu. Okay, so here they are also saying that there is this training program over there, elephant training program in Tamil Nadu. Okay, and on the same line Odisha is trying to revive its elephant training program here. Okay, so now they are saying that Odisha government will also go for the revival of the elephant training program, which was earlier there. Okay, but because of some reasons it would not it was not that successful. Now they are saying that they will be taking help from Tamil Nadu government and then revive that particular program. Here this particular program which we are talking about, that training program in Odisha, that was placed in various places like Chandaka, Satkoshia, Kapilesh and Simlipal. These are 4, you can say, protected areas in the state. So these 4 areas had this training program. Okay, now they are saying that at the initial phase they will be doing this reviving this program, at the initial level they will be reviving this program at these 4 places, and then they will expand it to other areas. Okay, Odisha introduced the program with the help of Kumkis in 1990s in Simlipal and Chandaka. Earlier it was introduced in 1990s, Simlipal and Chandaka, 2 of them here, Chandaka and Simlipal, and then it needs to be revived because it was not as successful earlier. So now they will revive it in 4 these areas and then later expand it to other areas. Okay, this is because Odisha government moves come amid frequent reports of human casualties due to jumbo attacks, which we have talked about. Nearly 925 people died and 212 people disabled in human elephant conflicts. At the same time 784 elements also died in that particular conflict. So here you can say that to save the life of both humans and as well as elephants, this particular step has been taken, wherein Odisha will be getting Kumkis from Tamil Nadu. These Kumki elephants are basically trained elephants for the rescue operation or for other purposes related to wildlife conservation, as well as for rescue operation or for removing these wild animals from the nearby human settlements. Okay, so that is about Kumki elephants and this news article related to Odisha government. Okay, now moving further, there is another article related to a particular place, or you can say a particular shrine in Assam, okay, wherein Rahul Gandhi has visited this particular place under this Bharat Jodo Yatra. but the thing is he was denied entry at that particular point of time. He was said that he can enter the temple after the Ram Mandir inauguration ceremony is done, because there are already many devotees present over there. Okay, so that is why he was denied that particular entry in that particular temple, or you can say particular shrine. Okay, but the thing is, that is not an important issue for us. The thing here is that why this Bhatarva, or you can say Batadrava Than is kind of important. Okay, so here we will see that this particular place, Bordova Than, or you can say Batadrava Than, this Than is, you can say, a Sthan. In the local language, it might have changed into Than, but the thing is, it is a place. Okay, so Sthan is a place. So Batadrava Than is important for us because of the art and culture or philosophical aspect which is attached to it. So here you can say the Sant Srimant Sankara Deva, he was a Vaishnavite reformer. It is birthplace of this particular saint. Okay, so now that is why it is important. Sankara Deva was he was born in 15th century, and he lived 15th to 16th century. In that particular time, he has gone for the neo Vaishnavite reforms. Okay, so under that he has propagated idea of, you can say, devotion to Lord Krishna. Okay, so he has given a particular philosophy which is important for us. We will talk about that. Sankar Deva founded the first ever Kirtan Ghar at Borodova in 1494 to practice and preach neo Vaishnavite faith during the 15th century in Assam, and propagated Ek Sharan Nam Dharma. Ek Sharan Nam Dharma. So ultimately he is talking about a way to God through devotion. Okay, by taking the name of the God, by chanting the name of the God, that is the way to salvation. Okay, so Ek Sharan Nam Dharma was the philosophy which was propagated by Shankara Deva in 15th century. Okay, in doing that, he has established the first ever Kirtan Ghar at this particular place, that is your Bordova. Okay, so now that is why it is important. Other than that, when we are talking about Sankara Deva's philosophy, the philosophy that is Ek Sharan Nam Dharma, in this philosophy it is focused on worship in the form of bhakti, that is devotion to Lord Krishna through singing and congregational listening to his name and deeds. So basically here what they does is they come together, and there is the congregation, and they chant the name of Lord Krishna. Okay, so here they are saying that bhakti or the devotion is path to salvation. Okay, or is a way of worship. Okay, so in this Ek Sharan Nam Dharma, what we are basically focusing on is that there is a different type of worship through taking name of God, and there is a way to salvation through that particular way, that is devotion or the bhakti. Okay, so that is the important part of this particular philosophy. So you should remember this, because they might directly ask a question related to Ek Sharan Nam Dharma. Okay, related to the propagator or the founder of this particular philosophy, in which place it was founded. All these things are important from this article. Shankar Deva espoused a society based on equality and fraternity, free from caste differences, orthodox Brahmanical rituals and sacrifice. His teaching focused on prayers and chanting Naam instead of idol worship. Okay, there are four components. One is God, second is the devotee. So here you can say Deva, that is God, then Naam is the way of worship or the prayers, and then there is this Bhaktas or the Bhakt, that is devotees, and fourth is Guru, that is teacher. So there is a God, there is the Naam, you can say Deva, Naam, Guru and Bhakt. Okay, so these are four components of this Ek Sharan Nam Dharma philosophy. Okay, again I would say Deva, Naam, Bhakta and Guru. Okay, so as a saint and traveler across Assam spreading his teaching, he has started establishing few institutions. These institutions are known as Thans, okay, or Satras. Satras or Thans. Out of those, one is this particular Than which we are talking about, Batadrava. Okay, so that is why it is important. Now when we are talking about the style of worship, they are doing it through depiction of arts. Okay, so here you can say they the worship through art or music, that is Borgit. That is important because this is particular term which they use for the music or the lyrics which is composed during this time, that is Borgit. Then dance is Satriyas and theater, that is bhauna. Okay, so these three terms are important. I have given it here somewhere. Okay, so this is Borgeet, then Satriyas and bhauna. So these three things are important because these are art and culture aspect which is related to this particular philosophy. They can ask you directly a question from this particular area. Okay, now why these thans are politically significant? Okay, so at times various politicians has come and come here and you can say given a visit to this particular area. Okay, why? Because in Assam this identity is a part of their culture, or that is very much ingrained in their lifestyle. Okay, so identity has always been important strain in the Assam politics. Okay, you must have heard about the communities or the ethnicities. There are various conflicts when we are talking about the northeastern regions. There are various ethnicities which are basically fighting against each other. Okay, that is all because of the identity politics. Okay, so now identity has always been important part for Assamese. Okay, so the thans or satras are component of Assamese identity. One of the most prominent than, that is Batadrava Than, is often visited by the politicians. State was planning to bring in a law wherein non-indigenous people from purchasing land in that particular area, or you can say in the radius of 8 kilometers from that particular area. Okay, so this is the article about Batadrava Than. Okay, what is this philosophy? That is ek sharan naam dharma. Okay, so ek sharan naam dharma is the philosophy. Other than that, there are 3 to 4 elements attached to it, that is deva, naam, bhaktas and gurus. And there is this particular music that is called Borgeet, or lyrics and the music, that is Borgeet, and then Kshatriya dance is there, and a Bhauna theatre is there, through which they are this is a way of worshipping of these people when we are talking about this Vaishnavized sect, which is under Ek Sharan Naam Bhakti. Okay, I'm sorry, hold on. So we have discussed all the elements of this Ek Sharan Naam Dharma. Ek Sharan Naam Dharma, this is the philosophy which is propagated by Shankar Deva in Assam area. Okay, and this area, that is Batadrava Than, is important because of various reasons we have discussed. Okay, so here I have summarized it for you so that for revision it is quite easy. Batadrava Than or Bordova Than is the sacred site for Assamese Vaishnavite, located at the birthplace of the revered Vaishnavite reformer saint Srimant Shankar Deva. Okay, so that name is important. His philosophy is Ek Sharan Naam Dharma, is focused on devotion to Lord Krishna. Okay, since it's a Vaishnavized sect, so it is dedicated to Lord Krishna through prayer and chanting. Okay, emphasizing equality and fraternity in the society. Neo Vaishnavite reformist movement. Okay, so throughout the Neo Vaishnavite reforming movement, they have established few institutions. They are called as thans or satras. Okay, so here you can see Than and Satras play an important role in Assamese identity, and Batadrava Than is particularly significant when we are talking about politically. Various politicians has paid visit here. A beautification project of this particular Than or Than has been launched in 2021 with an outlay of nearly 188 crore rupees, and it was launched by Home Minister Amit Shah. Okay, so that is why this particular thing is even important, because it was in news. Okay, now moving further to next article, that is related to your Davos summit, which we have already talked about, where it happened, why it is happening. Okay, so we'll be talking about few key takeaways which has been discussed in that particular summit. WEF, World Economic Forum, meeting in Davos 2024, 5 key takeaways. So we'll be talking about that. This year's edition of World Economic Forum annual meeting, which held from 15th of January to 19th January. Every year, leaders from various fields gather here at the Swiss ski resort to discuss challenges faced by the world and explore ways forward or the solution for that. Okay, so this particular summit is criticized because of this the nature, its elite nature. Okay, this is very expensive stay. When we are talking about this Swiss ski resort, it is an expensive stay. Okay, but still this is important because it is discussing all the geopolitical as well as geo-economic issues. Okay, so when we are talking about the key themes or the key takeaways from that, so So in that particular summit, they have also talked about artificial intelligence. So they have talked about the positives and negatives of artificial intelligence. They have said that while it is transformational abilities of the human welfare, they have talked about the positives, that is transformational abilities of human welfare. Okay, but they have also discussed the need to regulate it. Okay, we have seen various news related to misuse of AI, or you can say deep fakes, etc. Okay, so that is why the regulation is also important. There is the fear of joblessness or job losses. Okay, because of these particular AI tools are now taking jobs of various people, because they are generative tools. Okay, so they can do the job of a person who is basically, let's say if we are talking about content writing or something, these tools can do that. Okay, in a faster manner and in a efficient manner. So that is why there are chances of job losses and the risk of impersonation, okay, and misinformation, and the inequalities that can potentially worsen because of the AI. Okay, so that is what they have talked about artificial intelligence in this particular summit. And then they have talked about war and uncertainties. So okay, so leaders here, they have talked about the fragile condition in the Middle East area, and when we are talking about the Israel Gaza war and the Europe's Ukraine Russia war, because of which they have said that there is a threat to the value chains, or you can say supply chains. Okay, and that is why that can ultimately hinder the economy or the trade. That is why they have talked about that the fragile geopolitical situation, wars in Middle East and Europe, threat to global supply chain, uncertainty towards food security. Yet there is no plan or roadmap for the peace in these particular areas. Okay, other than they have talked about climate change. Here they have said that climate change is a reality, and when we are talking about fighting climate change, we must adapt to the climate business. All the businesses or the economy should adapt to the things which are trying to fight the climate change. Here you can see the need for businesses to adapt to the climate change and for countries to unite for action against it was another hot topic during the summit. They have talked about existential climate crisis on our hands. They are saying that if we are not responding to that, so we can have a threat to our existence. So it is an existential climate crisis on our hands, and a sense of urgency is only savior. Okay, as fast as we respond to that, that is only way we can save ourselves. Okay, now they have advocated sustainable practices, allocation of resources done correctly in the fight of climate change. Okay, so when we are talking about finances related to climate change, they are saying that allocation of these finances or other resources should be in a correct and efficient manner, and the response should be as fast as possible. Okay, other than that, they have talked about China's economy. So we have talked about this earlier as well, that China's economy is going through a slowdown. It is growing at the rate of somewhere 5%, but still it is lower than the pre-pandemic era. So we can say that China is going through a slump zone. Okay, so here you can say slowing economy. China has tried to attract more investment from the West. At 5.2%, China's GDP growth in 2023 is still below pre-pandemic levels, battling American attempts to isolate it. Okay, so we know that there is this issue between USA and China related to the hegemony. Okay, so China is trying to isolate, USA is trying to isolate China. Okay, and now there is this slowdown in the economy of China. So that is the concern, because when we are talking about China, China is an important part of the supply chain world over. Okay, so that is why this thing they have discussed. And then finally they have talked about India. So they have said that India is a potential place or potential destination for investment, etc., because it is the fastest growing economy. Okay, in the years to come it will be a fastest growing large economy, and that is why it becomes an area of interest for all the people or the investors which are looking for a robust economy. So India is a way forward. In that particular summit they have talked about all these things. So now we can move further to the next article. So we have talked about this suspension of operation agreement between various communities and the state government and the central government. So there was this tripartite agreement between when we are talking about Manipur. Okay, so hold on a second. So there was this tripartite agreement between center, state and the rebels in Manipur, or those people, various communities which are fighting there. Okay, we have seen violence in the Manipur area for long now. Recently, after this suspension of operation agreement which was signed, there was a incident of violence, or you can say there is an increase in the incidence of violence. Now various MLAs in that particular area, in that particular state, they have said that they should abrogate the SOO, or you can say suspension of operation agreement. Okay, so they are saying that since we have signed this agreement, still these communities are not backing off, they are going for violence. That is why, to fight this violence, we should abrogate this particular agreement. Okay, so let's see. Following a fresh bout of violence this month, 32 of the 60 MLAs in the Manipur Assembly unanimously adopted several resolutions. Okay, these included demand for immediate abrogation of the suspension of operation agreement with armed militant who has allegedly killed civilians, and calling for replacement of the Assam Rifles. So this is Assam Rifle, you can say this is a security force of center. They are saying that they should replace this force from here because they are not responding to the violence which is created by these militants. Okay, so when we are talking about this 32 of 60 MLAs, as I told you that Manipur has a interesting geography. Okay, so somewhere like this Manipur looks, and in the valley region, which is dominated by Meiteis, it is prosperous. Okay, and it is politically well represented. So it has the political representation. Okay, or you can say politically dominant also. So when we are talking about these MLAs, okay, so they have a huge say in this particular area. Okay, other than that, when we are talking about this particular region, that is hilly region, okay, that hilly region is you can say inhabited by Kukis, Zomi, Nagas, okay, and Mizos. So these communities are fighting to this dominant community, that is Meiteis. So now, because of which and all this fight is because of their ethnicity, and other than that, this ST status. Okay, so because of which there is this fight going on over there, and there was this agreement which was signed. Okay, but now there is a new episode of violence which has erupted in that particular area, and following which these MLAs have said that we should abrogate this suspension of operation agreement and then retaliate these militants. Okay, and they have also asked that these militants should surrender, and there should not be any kind of illegal arms in their possessions. Here you can say a special team of other than that, there was one more development, that is special team of Union Home Ministry arrived in the state for the talks between the Meitei and Kuki communities. So earlier after this particular agreement also, that center has said that these communities should come forward and talk with each other so that there can be a trust building. Okay, and for that a team from the Home Ministry has arrived at that particular day, and at the same time these MLAs has gone for this particular resolution saying that we should abrogate the suspension of operation agreement. Okay, so that is the situation in Manipur right now. Now moving further, PM announces schemes to install rooftop solar systems in 1 crore homes. Okay, I have taken my first decision after returning from Ayodhya. Our government will launch Pradhan Mantri Suryodaya Yojana with aims to install rooftops solar systems in 1 crore houses. Okay, so that is the article. If you want to go into further details of it, we have discussed it in our in news series. Okay, so if you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe the channel so that you can get updated with all these important updates in the current affairs. Okay, now moving further. There is this few news, that is government may increase agri credit target to 22 to 25 lakh in the interim budget. Okay, and then government is likely to meet 90 crore telecom receipts target financial year 24, that is an estimation. And then government should not cut import duty on part used in making smartphone in budget. So all these things are related to budget, because we are expecting a interim budget on 1st of February. Okay, this budget is interim because obviously there are Lok Sabha elections. Okay, so after new government comes into power, they will launch the full-fledged budget, but right now government is going for the interim budget. So we have discussed this interim budget, what is vote on account, yesterday in our session. Okay, other than that also we will be coming up with an special episode in economy primer related to budget. So do watch that video. Okay. So that the video will be coming soon. Okay. So we all these data we will not go into right now because these are just estimation. We will be waiting for the economic survey and the budget to launch, and we will talk about that budget and economic survey. Then we will go through these data. Okay. So now moving further, EV adaptation to play major role in India's transition to low carbon economy. So basically here when we are talking about electric vehicles and adaptation, when we are talking about clean energy, okay, and when we are talking about lesser vehicular emissions, this is the important solution, that is electrical vehicle, and India you can say that is doing good in that particular front. Okay, the vision to make India a developed nation by 2047, that is basically Viksit Bharat at 2047, that is the aim, or you can say our aspiration, includes a major shift towards electrical vehicles, and that is supported by various tax incentives, and then there is this PLI scheme, production linked subsidy scheme is there. Okay, so this you can say production linked incentive scheme and mandatory provision for of charging infrastructure. So all these things are indicating a growth in the electrical vehicle sector. Okay, so when we are talking about this transition, okay, it will lead to a low carbon economy. So that is the aim of us. Okay, now development and the adaptation of electric vehicle plays a pivotal role in India's transition to a low carbon economy, which is quite clear. Okay, because of the lesser emission, government authorization of 100% FDI. Okay, so when we are talking about this particular section of EV transitions or the EV manufacturing, government has allowed 100% FDI in that particular sector. Okay, so government's authorization of 100% foreign direct investment in the renewable power projects underscores the national dedication to sustainable development. Okay, so that is important. When we are talking about renewable energy, government has gone for 100% FDI in that particular section. Now Viksit Bharat at 2024-7 is the vision to make India developed by 2047, the 100th year of India's independence. Okay, economic growth, social progress, environmental sustainability, and the good governance are part of this particular vision. Okay, World Economic, all these things were discussed at World Economic Forum Davos Summit, which we have recently discussed. Okay, PM Gati Shakti program. So here they have mentioned two programs, that is PM Gati Shakti, that is related to infrastructure development. Okay, that is Gati Shakti, and then there is this unified logistics interface platform. So you have to go through these two programs, or you can say these two initiatives of government, and makes a note of like 2 or 3 lines so that you can remember that what these programs are talking about. Okay, so PM Gati Shakti program and unified logistic interface program were showcased in the meeting, highlighting the India's dedication to sustainable development and the robust infrastructure growth. Okay, so these two programs become important for you. That is your homework, you have to do it. And the fast growing EV market in India is catching eye of the global players. Okay, so here you can say that that is important, you can say area of investment for global players as well. Okay, now moving further, here you can say Pradhan Mantri Khanij Kshetra Kalyan Yojana. This Yojana has been mentioned in your newspaper. One kind of, you can say, one advertisement was there. So you have to go through this particular scheme as well. PM KKKY addresses the need of inclusive growth and participative development of the people in the mining areas through welfare project on health, education, skills, drinking water, sanitation, etc. So basically they are talking about the holistic development of the people who are in the mining industries, or you can say in the areas of that particular mines. Okay, so here Pradhan Mantri Khanij Kshetra Kalyan Yojana. Okay, so that is about building social trust. There are 644 districts which has been covered in that particular area, and there are nearly 2,40,000 welfare projects under this particular scheme, or you can say which has been converged under this particular scheme. Okay, so that is also important. Now for your own read, there is this article related to free movement regime along Myanmar border, rationale and criticism, that why this agreement, or you can say why this free movement regime agreement was signed, why this was started, why this was important at that particular point of time, and why we are now trying to remove it and going for the fencing of the India-Myanmar border. Okay, all these things we have discussed in our discussions, and now you can go through it. It is given in the simple language. Now looking at the practice questions. Who propagated the philosophy of Ek Sharan Nam Dharma? Options are Kabir, Mirabai, Sankradeva and Tulsidas. So you have to attempt this question and answer in the comment box. Second question here is that what does the term Bor Geet refers to? Okay. Options are A. Love song, B. Devotional song, C. Folk dance, D. War anthem. Okay. So you have to attempt this question as well and answer in the comment box. With that, I would like to take your leave. If you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe the channel. Thank you.